I make a lot of videos about Chinese ultra-flagship smartphones, and I especially like ones that come with photography kits, like this one for the Vivo X300 Ultra. The problem is, every time I make a video about phones like these, I get comments like this, and like this, and this, and this, and this. You get the idea. So here's my hot take. I think phones are already better than cameras, and in a lot of situations, I think people would get better results if they chose to use a phone rather than a professional mirrorless body. To explain myself a little better, I'm going to compare my Vivo X300 Ultra to my Lumix S9, which I'm filming on right now, and maybe you'll see where I'm coming from. The whole reason I bought the S9 is because it's compact and lightweight, but phones are in a completely different league, especially when you consider how many lenses are built into a phone. Like the Vivo X300 Ultra, for example, has a 14mm, a 35mm and an 85mm on the back. And then if you want, you can add a 400mm teleconverter or a 200mm teleconverter. To get anywhere close to that level of versatility with a proper camera, you're going to need a bag filled with prime lenses or a massive heavy super zoom like this thing. Hold on a sec, let me get the scales out. Here's the Vivo X300 Ultra, and on its own that weighs 236 grams, which is your best case scenario. If you want to add the case up to 270, the grip takes us to 374, lens plate 390, 200mm 552, 400mm 812, so less than a kilo for everything. Now my Lumix S9 with no lens on, but it does have this little plate and grip, which is how I use it, so I think it's fair to keep them on. That's 340 with no lens, and if I grab my smallest and lightest lens, which is the TT Artisan 40mm f2, that brings us to 734. So it is lighter than the entire kit, but we've only got a single lens on here, no zooming whatsoever. If we want to come close to matching the versatility of the Vivo, then we need something like this. I mean, this is only 24-105, so it's covering the main sensor and the telephoto, but there's no ultra wide and obviously no super telephoto. That brings us to 1,245 grams. That's a lot heavier and a lot bigger. Of course, you could always just use a handful of primes. So I've got the Lumix 85mm 1.8 and the Sigma 24mm f2. That brings us to 1,535 grams. You get what I'm saying. Not only is this stuff a lot bigger, it's also a lot heavier. So weight is one thing, but size is just as important. A phone is something you're going to have in your pocket at all times anyway, so it barely counts. But even if you add the camera kit, I can still fit this Vivo phone, the grip and the lens all in one pocket. My S9 barely fits in my pocket without a lens on, and there's no chance with a lens on. I can barely fit my smallest lens in my pocket, let alone something like this. There's just absolutely no way. Okay, so we're going to have a quick look at stabilisation, and this is the rig I've come up with. Got the Vivo X300 Ultra mounted on the cold shoe of my S9. And I'm using the 24-105 lens simply because it's the only lens I've got that has OIS built in, so it'll give us the best stabilization. One of the main reasons I bought this camera is because the stabilization is so good, but I don't think it can match the Vivo, and I'll show you that right now. So I've got the phone and the camera at about 35mm, and I'm just standing handheld obviously at the moment. And if I walk forward, see what kind of image you get then, and here's with a little bit of a jog. Now on the telephoto, which is 85mm on the Vivo, but it is a little bit cropped in video mode, so I've got the lens fully extended at 105mm. Here's walking along normally, and here's with a bit of a jog. So I've got the lens fully extended at 105mm. Now you might think that full frame cameras have a clear advantage in low light because they've got such a large sensor, but actually in most cases you'll get better results with a phone. To show that, I took a few pictures of my cat late last night in the garden, almost complete darkness. With the Vivo, I just pressed the shutter button in normal photo mode and it gave me this, which I think looks pretty great. The S9 on the other hand, in full auto mode, gave me this. And I wasn't trying to cheat anything. I used the 85mm f1.8 and I shot wide open, but the autofocus straight up just wasn't working. It was too dark for the autofocus. I had to switch to manual focus, and then still my images are crazy dark. I can probably bring some of this back, I could maybe boost the ISO a bit higher, but then I'd have to do denoising. It's just a lot more hassle, and when you can just simply click a button and get this from Vivo, I think a lot of people would prefer that. Another thing that phones have going for them is the amount of insanely advanced video features that you're finding on these modern flagships. For instance, pretty much all of them can now shoot at 4K 120 with no crop. My S9 can't even do 4K 60 without cropping in. And yeah, there are professional cameras that will do 4K 120, but they cost a fortune. The fact that pretty much every flagship phone, and even some sub-flagship phones, are starting to do that now is just mad. Plus, there's raw video with apps like Motion Cam Pro. Some can do things like multi-syncing. You've got log on pretty much everything, built-in LUTs. It's just wild what you can get on a phone these days. Phones are also really easy to use. You can hand a phone to absolutely anyone and they'll know how to take a photo or a video with it. And the software does a really great job of recognizing the scene, switching settings without you even knowing it's doing anything. With a professional camera, you have to do all that yourself. For instance, if I want to change autofocus mode on the S9, I have to go into a menu and then a sub menu just to change it to like animal eye detect rather than human detection or vehicle detection. All of that happens automatically on a phone, which just makes it really quick and easy to pull out your pocket and start recording, even if you don't know what you're doing. Phones can also do a lot more than cameras can. A camera is a camera, but a phone can do pretty much anything. If you want to get into live streaming, just download an app. You want to edit your videos or photos, download some apps. Sharing it on social media, it's all already on the phone. You get the idea. It's a Swiss Army knife tool. Cameras can do one thing, phones can do almost anything. And if you don't want to carry a laptop with you or extra devices, phone's the way to go. Of course, cameras still have their place, and there's a reason I'm shooting on one right now, and there's a reason I bought it. One that's pretty obvious is this level of background blur is never going to be achievable with a small sensor on a phone. You can get close to that with the teleconverters, but then you're shooting at 200mm. This is a 24mm. You're never going to be able to do this with a phone. They're also designed from the ground up for the task at hand. They've got things like removable storage, swappable batteries, long battery life. Some have built-in fans to stop them overheating. You get what I'm saying. They do one thing and they do it pretty well. They're also usually more ergonomic and comfortable to hold, but that's where photography kits come in. And with something like this attached to your phone, it's kind of the same. One really big advantage of professional camera systems is that they're never going to change up the lens mount on you. Well, they will, but they'll keep the same lens mount for a long time, so you can feel safe investing in glass and knowing it's not going to be completely incompatible next time you upgrade your camera. Phone manufacturers have not been so good at that. For instance, Oppo released this for the Find X9 Pro, and it has this lens mount on the bottom. Then they released this for the Find X9 Ultra, and it has a completely different mount. Really not ideal. Vivo, thankfully, has kept the same mount on all of its lenses so far, but it still hasn't updated the firmware to support these lenses on older phones. Will they ever do that? They said they will, but it's not happened yet. That's the kind of thing that's pretty uncommon with a professional camera. Now, I just want to make it very clear that I'm not slagging off the Lumix S9. I love this camera. I use it almost every day, and it's taken some of my absolute favorite photos of all time. Some were shot with the S5 II, which I had before this, but it's basically the same camera. That said, a lot of my favorite photos were also taken on phones, various phones. As the old saying goes, the best camera is the one that you have with you, and that's usually a phone, to be honest. The point of this video is not that cameras are bad. Cameras are amazing, but phones are amazing too, and that's all I really want to get across. So that's about it for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure you will. Have I convinced you that phones are already better than cameras, or have I gone completely insane? Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of thing, get subscribed, because there's always more fun stuff on the way, and I will catch you in the next one. Toodles.